Hey guys, today I'm going to be checking out the Mordu's Legion Orthrus. This is the faction level cruiser. This is on the test server, so this is not a valid representation of what's to come. This could change in a million different ways, but I'm going to test it out and see how good it is in its current state before it's finalized. I built this a few different ways, and we're going to try it out in all shapes and forms. So first off, let's go over what the Orthrus is. It has a roll bonus of negative 50% missile flight time, and a 200% missile torpedo velocity. We do have a warp scramble strength of +1, which is awesome. If you are to have this cruiser, it is a must to have 5 out of 5 advanced missile torpedo operation bonus for all of that extra damage. It is also, well, I guess it's not as big, but if you are in a faction cruiser, I would definitely have 5 out of 5 cruiser command bonus. If it's only 4, it's not going to break it, but it gets a 10% warp scramble and disruptor optimal range, which is just awesome. So definitely have 5 out of 5 on those to even fly this. Now my first build, of course the medium rapids got nerfed and the DPS isn't sitting that high, but if we scroll down here, our missile range is at 31 kilometers, which is pretty juicy on these. You can kind of sit back and just launch rapid missiles off, so that's pretty cool. Coming down to our mid slot, I am going to be brawling in this, so I have 2 webifiers. I will need to be within 14 kilometers, so if something gets close to me, they're pretty much nullified. I do have a warp scram. This will shut people's warp drives off up to 22.5 kilometers. If we slot in a disruptor, a predator disruptor, this is at 45 kilometer hit range, which is pretty intense. I do have a Nosferatu on this build, potentially putting 2 Nosferatus for... Of course, I only have one of these, but I'll just put a medium 5 on there. This will be for ratting. You want 2 Nosferatus on there. You want a medium C-type afterburner, a ballistic control system to speed things up. I added a little bit of tank to my build, so I did a C-type adaptive shield and a large shield booster. Hopefully I'm not going to need to use this too much. It does boost 900 shield per tick, but if you see, we are at 4 minutes and 6 seconds on our capacitor. This is the test server, so it is 5 out of 5 on all skills, so you're going to have a little bit different build depending on how much capacitor or power grid you have and your skills trained. I did only use modules that are available to everybody right now. I didn't do anything that is soon to come, so take that into consideration. Now for this side, my engineering rigs, I did a 20% flight velocity adjustment to help my afterburner out a little bit, and I put 2 capacitor capacity multipliers on there. Potentially a CCC would be better, but they are just ridiculously expensive in the real game. So the practicality of having one of those versus one of these is so minimal, so I popped 2 of those babies on. I did a tier 3 damage and a tier 3 activation time, and I did want to make this thing fairly tanky, so I popped a EM screen reinforcer for the 40% shield. You can see we're sitting around 40 to 28, 40, 50 there, so it's fairly tanky. Doesn't have too much shield hit points, but this is a shield tank, There's probably ways we can increase that by doing like a shield extender in place of the ballistic control if we want to be as tanky as we want. So I'm going to take this out with the medium rapids, and then we'll re-gear again in a minute and change our build. Alright, so let's get all this stuff over real quick. I am just on a tier 9, just because I already had this spawned. Let's just check out a few things. I have my afterburner going. Whew. They're still able to hit me there. What are they shooting me with? Jeez. So we are going 1200 meters a second with the afterburner. We have a signature radius of 94, which is actually fairly decent for a ship like this. Now remember, our medium rapids are at a 31 kilometer range. So I'm going to set this, let's just do 28, 27. Let's check our resistances. We are at 40k EHP, about 60% all around. It's not too bad, not the tankiest in the world. So they are not able to hit me now. Let's go ahead and just launch a volley off. 2200. We went to 28 kilometers and we seem to have missed. So let's go to 26 and get our orbit correct. It's actually doing fairly good DPS. 2200 volley, medium rapids. Let's pop our ballistic control. 2296. So we are 2400. I gotta get a little closer. We seem to keep missing. Yeah, about 2400 on a shield. We're up to 820 DPS, so that's pretty good, I'd say. If you notice, we pop our shield booster, it will start to drain. We can't hit our Nosferatus from this range, so potentially you could go up close and still launch these off. As long as you don't get webbed and scrammed up, I think you might be safe. Yeah, we're doing some good damage on that. But alright, let's go try a different build out. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so this is the build I was pretty excited with. I fit 6 C-type medium torpedo launchers. I kept the low slots the same and the rigs, which I can definitely swap this out for damage here. I think I'm going to do that. Let's see, I think I'm going to go with a bay loading accelerator for the activation time. We are going to go all out DPS on this one. Oof. I made it jump about 100 damage per second. So we are at 1084 DPS cold. I'm wondering maybe I could even swap this out for a capacitor battery or even another ballistic control system. But this will be fine. This is a practical build. You're a little bit tanky, you have a large shield booster, and we have the Nosferatu to hopefully keep our cap up. We're not going to be using a large shield booster 24/7. But let's check out our torpedoes really quick. Activation time 4.77 seconds at a 17 kilometer range. These are going to require 2 target painters just to be accurate. The Nosferatu and the Webifier to web people up. We are going to kind of be right up in people's faces on this build. So yeah, let's take this baby out and try it out. I'm going to orbit probably about 12 kilometers. I think that's the sweet spot with my afterburner. Hopefully I'm not going to be going too fast. I can turn the afterburner off, but it's all crazy all over the place. Alright, That drone, just a small ahead sitting around. Alright, let's head back to our tier 9. Turn our shield on.
Warp drive active.
So you see our shield is only at 34k, so we lost 6,000 EHP for that extra 100 DPS. So that will be your choice if you want to take that resistance rig off. So I'm going to set that to 12. Let's go orbit this baby. Nosferatu him. Target paint him out. Actually locks fairly quick, even though it's a larger ship. But we're going to web him just to pretend there. And we're going to launch 3,500 a hit. And is way faster than the medium rapids. Holy smokes. Let's turn our ballistic control on. Try that again. 3,700. Oof. Jeez, 37. Man, that's chewing this thing up. That's what I like to see. We are at 1383 DPS. It's doing 3,700 damage every 4 seconds. We're at a 3.87 second activation time. 17 kilometer range, wow. And we're chewing this thing up. You see, we just pop our shield booster once, we're full. I'm going to take this into the next spawn and see how well we can take it. Let's turn our afterburner up, see if we do any more damage. It's about the same, maybe slight bit more. But now our battle cruiser can hit us a little bit more reliably. I'm going to turn that afterburner back on. Alright, the moment of truth. I'm going to try out this Manticore. This is a pretty large wave. Oh, dang it. Our missile disrupted. Okay. Okay, let's get this missile disruption off. 1100. Alright. Let's pulse our shield once or twice. Oof, 3,000 on that, no target painters. So this is fairly reliably hitting smaller rats. Target painters seem to be doing some work too. Just pop that again, just take out this cormorant. Doesn't do as much. Ooh, left my shield booster on that whole time. We are pretty much just chewing right through these. Got that stupid drone out. Alright, 3,700. Woof. Our ballistic control's still going. Wow. To be honest, I like these torpedoes a lot. They do some juicy damage extremely fast. Depending on what you're doing, I guess, you can swap the invulnerability shield for another ballistic control and cycle them. That's only if you're confident in what you're doing, I'd say. It only has 4 low slots, so you are limited. You could swap this out for a lot of different things. Could do a medium shield booster and a large shield extender, potentially. You can have a lot of different options in that low slot. The power grid is pretty large on this, 1023 when it's completely maxed out. Alright, cool. Let's move on to our last build. Alright, so this is going to be my PvP build. I don't think I'm going to be fighting many small frigates, and I don't think they'll be able to chew through this very well. I do have a extremely far scram range, so 22 kilometers allows me to micro warp drive to just about anything. If I can catch a web on them, like at 10 or 12 kilometers, and scram them, they're pretty much screwed. How I think I'd build this is with a good medium, so with a little bit of tank, a ballistic control, and of course my large shield booster. For my mid slots, of course the web and the scram and the target painter I think are necessary for this build. If you imagine you're going to be in a longer fight, you are going to be within 12 kilometers, so you will be able to get some of your energy back with this. That allows you to pulse the large shield booster longer. But this can be swapped out if you think you're just going to go in and slap something real quick with guidance disruptors or tracking disruptor, or really anything you want. A predator web, or not a predator disruptor here. This will hit people at 45 kilometers, but I think I would build it like this. This is kind of a little bit safer build. You could swap the invulnerability shield for another ballistic control too. I would probably swap the activation time for one of the EM resistances, because this has 0. I think that might be a good medium in my opinion for PvP, but I'm going to go damage, activation time on this. You already saw what kind of damage this can put out, so I'm not going to take this back into a ratting wave. Let's see, I just want to see how fast we can go with our micro warp drive and pop this on. Now, unless you're rolling with a huge fleet and logistics, I would not recommend doing this. 3 ballistic control systems, micro warp drive, you're just basically a sitting duck. This can also be swapped for a group shield booster, kind of whatever you guys feel. Okay, we're 1181 DPS. Let's us undock real quick. Alright, so let's pop our micro warp drive. Get up to speed pretty quick. 2,600 meters a second. That's actually pretty good. It's like stabber speed. Let's see how fast we bank. We don't bank too slow. Now, the moment of truth. Let's pop all 3 of these. What kind of DPS can we get? 2,078 damage per second. Okay, so I'm going to pause this. I'm going to go take this back into the wave. I'm going to see what kind of hits we can pop off with this baby. But alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back here. Just remember, this isn't my ratting fit. I would have, of course, the Nosferatu, but I'd probably have 2 target painters and a single web. Okay, let's just slow down a little bit. Our ballistic controls are about up. Pop them all there. 3,800. Oh, cool. Come on, let's get back in range of this Naga here before our ballistics go down. Oh no. Okay, let's slow down a little bit, hopefully. Let's lob some off. 3,900. Oof. 3,900 at 2.71 seconds. We're doing that much DPS. Uh-oh. I'm disrupted here. I should probably bang this out real quick. Alright. Alright, and the last build here are going to be the medium missile launchers. These, well, let me take my hook off really quick. So these, with max skills, you get a 55 kilometer missile range. We are at 875 DPS. You have a few options. If you want to sit at 50 kilometers, you can do so. I would leave your shield booster extender up just for just a little bit of tank. But you can slot another C-type damage and cycle these. Might be pretty good. You get up to 923. When you pop them both, you get like 1300 DPS. And it'll make these pretty quick. They activate at 8 seconds, and they go down to like 6 or something, so that's pretty nice. Now I want to see how far I can get the range on these, so let's pop a hook on here. Now I don't care about DPS anymore. Pop another hook. Let's just see with 2 of those. We're at 800 DPS. Oop. There it is. Okay, we are at 63 kilometers with 2 hooks on there. Now let's totally tank the DPS really quick. Don't want that. Flight time bonus. Yep, flight time bonus. And flight time bonus. Alright, let's see. Whew, we got pretty crappy DPS, 586 now. 12-second activation time, so we took a huge tank, but we are at 73 kilometers on these medium missiles. Let's go and just try something real quick. Okay, I'm going to... Oh, our power grid's messed up. Yeah. What happened to our other hook there? Just a second. A little bit of technical difficulties. Well, let's just pop one for now. So once we pop one, 105 kilometers. They don't last too long, so maybe that's, let's see. Activation time 10 seconds, so you literally only get to shoot 1 missile from that distance. I'm going to leave 1 hook on there just for the extra range. I'm going to kind of do a in the middle build now. Got my ballistic, got my hook. I'm going to do 1 damage. And 1 activation time. This one, flight velocity, damage. Where is it here? Alright, well I'll be right back in the anomaly once I have this refitted. Alright, I'm back in the anomaly. I have a ballistic control and 1 guidance computer. I was able to slot a damage, activation time, and a flight time velocity, 12% there. So our missiles cold are at 68 kilometers. So I can probably sit, let's just do 62. We'll orbit this guy at 62. I brought a afterburner, which I'm going to turn off once I'm in range. Definitely a micro warp drive will help, but it cuts into your capacitor, and this will get you into range just fine. So now, let's just launch a volley off here. Forgot our target painters. 5,300. Let's see, 5,300 damage every 10 seconds. That's pretty juicy. Now let's pop both of these. We'll launch one of those off. Okay, we are at 100 kilometers at 1K DPS. 63. So honestly, the hook can probably go. I'd probably slap 2 ballistic control systems on this build, just so you can cycle them back and forth. This definitely does not have as much DPS as the torpedoes, but that's kind of not the most AFK, to say the least. You have to be on top of it. I do have a web and a scram here. If a elite micro warp drives to you, you can scram, web, target paint him, and you should apply plenty enough damage to take him out. You pop a ballistic controller too, and you should be good. Now this is pretty good DPS if you take into account, let's just go into the market really quick. Let's say you are using large cannons in the hurricane or tornado or whatever it's called. Large autocannon? I'm not sure if that's the right one or not. Nope. Large strike cannon. So these have a pretty long range too. Their activation time is 21 seconds, and of course we'll go down a little bit from there. These shoot a lot faster, and those do the autocannons do anywhere from, I think, 3 to about 12k damage. So I feel like missiles always shooting 5,300 at 10 seconds are a little bit more reliable DPS, especially with your ballistic control system there. Speeds you up even faster. Oops, that's not what I'm looking at. Yeah, with the ballistic control, we're at 8 seconds activation time, and you can pretty much cycle them nearly the whole time, one on, one off, with max skills, so that's pretty good. I feel like this may have better DPS than one of those large cannon or even the Oracle. But yeah, that about does it for this video. Let me know in the comments what your favorite build is and how you will be building this once it releases. The release date is still to be announced. We have no information on that, but I know that I am extremely excited for it. This may be my first faction cruiser that I buy. But yeah, this thing is pretty dope. I'm definitely interested. Well, overall, this is an absolute beast of a cruiser. I'm not sure which build I like more. I like the torpedo build just because it has such high DPS, and I'm wondering if it can out DPS a Cinnabal face to face. One of the big things is the warp scramble strength, or optimal range, I mean. So on your disruptor you can hit up to 45 kilometers. So I'm not too sure if torpedoes are going to be the best choice, just because you can basically disrupt them 45. Maybe medium missiles and some target painters. and you just kind of lob them off. Might be a good one. Sit back, scram people, and just let some missiles loose. As long as someone's up in their face webbing them, I think that's a good way to PvP. But if you're doing the up in your face build, I would do a scrambler and torpedoes and just bang them out. You definitely need a web, potentially a painter, and a scram. But yeah, let me know what your favorite build is, guys. How are you going to be building your Orthrus once they release? Alright, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.